car fans? Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and this week's build here is my just recently completed 65 Impala SS Sport Coupe here. And this one I had a lot of fun with, and it went fairly well. A couple little things were turning up missing on me and fought me a little bit with this particular one. Mainly just a couple of mistakes, but I'll get into those a little bit later. But as I was showing you guys the 65 Impala SS convertible that I built and getting into some of the facts on the Impala, when it comes to the Sport Coupe, I mean, the SS package was a runaway hit. I mean, this car, or this period, 1965 for Chevrolet, was just an amazing time. The fact that they sold 1 million of these that year for 1965, and Chevrolet having a massive year of producing over 3 million Chevrolet vehicles, cars and trucks. Just a massive year. But some of the specs actually said that there was 1 million Impalas, like just barely over 1 million Impalas. And I thought that was all of the B bodies, Bel Airs and everything, but I guess that's just Impalas. But the Super Sport option, 239,000 of them got that option that year. Now, the Super Sport package was only available on the Sport Coupe and the convertible. Matter of fact, if you know, it was a little confused on whether or not there actually was a regular Impala convertible for 65. I believe there were, but the pages are kind of vague on it because they really seem to focus on the Super Sport package, and not so much that. But the Impalas, though, you can get them in a two-door, four-door wagon, but the Super Sport option was only available on the convertible and on the Sport Coupe. And I got into what that entailed as far as trim and chrome and the interiors and the bucket seats and the console, because all of that is part of the SS package, and the interior is much more unique than the outside. The outside is a lot of trim stuff, but nothing really special. No special trim as far as Super Sport emblem, and different chrome and some different highlights here and there. But it didn't have a special hood or anything like that, like some of the later SSs did. But it had nothing to do with the engine. You can get any engine in this. I mentioned that in the other video as well, that you can get Super Sports with a 6-cylinder engine because it is just a trim package with these wheels, the spinner hubcaps, and everything. But it is just an appearance package, a sporty package. It's a great looking package. Didn't really look up how much it actually cost. The cars themselves were kind of on the pricey side. Matter of fact, it said that the most expensive full-size car was the Impala Super Sport. Convertible had a base price that was $100 more than the Sport Coupe, but it was the most expensive full-size car of 1965. And I'm not really sure the full category on that, if they broke some of the luxury cars down, because I'm wondering if a Cadillac would be more, what the parameters were on that when I read that. But anyway, with all the different options, this kit is built with a 396, which was a mid-year introduction. And while Chevrolet didn't get into, they know how many engines were built, they just don't know how many were installed in what particular package. There were 2 horsepower versions, the 325 and the 425 version, the solid lifter L78 or the 325 horsepower version. Nothing in between, so 2 of those. But as soon as that motor came out, it basically is responsible for killing pretty much 2 engines, really. But in the Impala, it killed the 409. There were 2 versions of the 409, a 340 horse and a 400 horse. But they were not very good sellers. Only 2,800 and something were made for 65 in this series. But how many of those went into Bel Airs versus convertibles or Biscaynes, because they know how many motors there were, but not exactly what went into what. Same thing with the 396, except for the 396, there's 55,000 of them made. So very low production, big blocks in these, even though most of them are V8s, but even the 6-cylinder cars, there was only Impala SSs. There was something like 3,000 somewhere right around there. Sport Coupes, and 399 six-cylinder Impala SS convertibles. So a six-cylinder one is pretty rare all on its own right, but the VINs tell you that. The VIN will tell you if it's a SS convertible or SS coupe, and if it's V6 or inline six or eight-cylinder. Just the number of cylinders, really, not specifically which V8 it had. So paperwork is everything on these if you've got one of those and you're trying to restore it. But beautiful, beautiful car, and came out really nice. The model kit has the manual tranny, which a 3-speed and a 4-speed were available in these. The Power Glide automatic was available in these. Also, the Turbo 400 made its debut in '65 as well. I mentioned that in the convertible one also. This car, a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed building it. I did this one in Mist Blue from Scale Finishes, which is a '65 color. And I also did the convertible in Evening Orchid. And that's, a really cool pink color. And I knew I was going to do that one out. So I kind of jokingly referred to them as my baby reveal colors, because light blue and light pink metallics. But awesome colors, especially on these cars with all the trim. So speaking of that, let's take this outside and look at it in the sun. Well, here we are out in the Arizona sun with this '65 Impala SS 396 here, hardtop or coupe. But lots of nice chrome, lots of nice trim. Just so much fun taking these outside and really looking at the color here. This one's done in Mist Blue from Scale Finishes, which is a '65 color. I wanted to pick something from that time period, and especially with all that chrome and all that trim on there, just really, really sparkles. So those hubcaps, the way this thing's just sitting, the chrome foil on there just really pops. This is a beautiful light blue color, really nice blue. That plate, tis '65. I like that plate. That came with the kit. I didn't add that. So here we are, wheel opening moldings, all the trim, mirrors. Here we go. Let's see. Push the hood down just a little bit. There we go. Just really like that metallic, real fine, nice metallic. So great color. I was kind of hesitant at first, but I'm like, I wanted something a little different, not quite as bright, something a little subtle. And I saw pictures of these, and I said, I'm gonna go with this color. And the Scale Finishes paint just looks great on it. So really like how this one came out. But let's head back inside and continue on. All right, guys, I bet you that looked really, really good. I, again, love this color, and I really do like taking these out in the sunlight and viewing them after they're completed in the sunlight for the first time. But this one, being that it is the 396 and it's the Revell Monogram kit, and great kit, by the way, if I get this hood. Hoods are kind of hard to get open because there's not a whole lot to grab on because of how they tuck in. But there's the 396 engine. The decals were kind of having trouble getting them to stick, so I put some white glue under there to help hold that down. This is the 396. I don't believe it should have the aluminum intake if I'm doing it as a 325 horse version, but I don't have like a chrome air cleaner or open element air cleaner to do the 425 horse version, which would be easy to do to swap some of the stuff, but I wasn't really sure if it should have a dual snorkel air cleaner, because a lot of different ones I was finding online for reference material. So, but all of this stuff is right from the kit. I really didn't do any modifications to it. Everything pretty much dropped right in. There's a steering gear down there, steering column, all kinds of neat details that are in this kit. The manual tranny here, you can see the steering box and everything there as well. And it went together really, really nicely. Really nice suspension here. The rear stuff, it squats down just a little bit in the back, but these cars did that. Blow some of that dust off of there. So but the kit, I really didn't have too many issues with it. I had some problems with the paint. I know I stripped this one and redid it, and then I had the paint was peeling off the seats and the door panels. I didn't do a really good job washing those. Matter of fact, I started with the convertible, then decided I was going to build both of them. So I kind of rushed a little bit to get this one caught up, and it kind of bit me for not taking my time, which I did with the convertible. Then I just started to really take my time and enjoy the builds on these. Even though this one of the rear suspension control arms vanished on me. So I bought another tree off of eBay to get those parts. And then it turned up later in the box still. I don't know how that happened. I mentioned it in one of the videos building it. And then, I mentioned the paint issue. And then one of the last things, putting these together, one of these round mirrors, this is a two-piece mirror, and it's kind of a pain in the butt, and you got to be very careful with them. But one of the round ones actually vanished. I was like, oh man. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll just put the driver's side one here, not the passenger side. I'm kind of weird. I like mirrors on these cars, even though in 65 they were an option and they could be bolted on anywhere. 66 they became mandatory for the driver's side, but passenger side mirrors are very, very rare. In period, a lot of people add them after the fact. I like that. I add them as well, but like this one, it vanished, so I was gonna go without, and then last minute it turned up just sitting on my table here. Just, you know, I couldn't see it, and all of a sudden it's staring me right in the face. So I glued it on, but I skipped the antennas. I saved them, may use them on something else, but I skipped them and didn't build it with that. But everything else went really nicely. On this one, I decided to put the front license plate on it, but left it off of the convertible just to differentiate the two as far as the build options. And if I wanted to, I can pop that mirror off. It is white glue and it'll come right off. But here's the rear end of it with the trim on the taillights and the black trim for the SS. And, the windows on this. This rear window, after you foil it and everything, it's not so obvious, but when it's raw plastic, that window looks kind of odd. But once it's foiled and put together, you can see it raised up and sticks up kind of a little bit, but it's not as noticeable. So that was bugging me just a little bit, but I'm like, well, it is the way it is, and I'll build it the way it is. But really did enjoy this one. I got these two done. I have to do another one of these full-size cars pretty soon. I got a whole bunch of the Impalas to build that I haven't built. So this is really the 265s, and a 60 is all I built, but I've got all the Impalas from 58 to 70. Even some of the rare ones, the 69 and the 68s, I've got those as well. So thanks you guys for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments and everything. I really do appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time.